of this saint, that their precious parent had the joy of seeing them ennobled with divine grace, and so on their way to heaven before herself went there. I am sure it has been a heartbreaking sorrow to some children that they did not convert to God before their godly parents' bodies were converted into dust, and thereby caused them to go sighing with sorrow to their graves, who, might they but first have seen them reclaimed, would have gone down to the grave singing for joy. It is a blessed sight to behold children, especially of noble persons, imitating their godly parents' graces. God is no respecter of persons. Yet, said St. Bernard, I do not know how it comes to pass, that virtue in a noble person more pleases. Is it not, perhaps, because it is more conspicuous and therefore more attractive? This consideration made me more readily obey your honor's commands in publishing these mean papers, hoping that this great example of piety in so noble a lady, together with the honor that attended her to the grave, may cause some of high birth to a little more consider their great mistake in thinking to overtake honor in the dirty paths of profaneness and irreligion, and so be moved at last to change their way and turn into this clean road of piety wherein this good lady lived with so much esteem and died so wonderfully lamented. The character that I have here given of her is true, but not full. Nay, it is far short of her worth. Her graces were of so high a strain that I may truly say what Jerome did concerning Marcella, a noble Roman lady. I was afraid to speak all I knew of her wisdom, sanctity, charity, and other excellencies, lest I should seem to exceed the belief of some, those, I mean, who knew her not. For as any were more and longer acquainted with her, so their estimate of her advanced higher. And must not that piece be admirably well drawn which is most commended by those, if able to judge, who stand nearest and look longest on it? And none, I think, will deny that famous light of his age, Bishop James Usher, to have been as able to judge in this case as any other. What a high esteem he had of this lady, and her noble lord and husband also, appears from a letter written by him to her 40 years ago, in which there is this passage. This letter was written in 1628. The thing that I have most admired in your noble lord is that such lowliness of mind and such a high pitch of a brave spirit should be yoked together and lodged in one breast. On the other side, when I reflect upon you, I think I understand that saying of the apostle better than I did, that as the man is the image and glory of God, so the woman is the glory of the man. And to your comfort, let me add this, that if I have any insight in things of this nature, or have any judgment to discern of spirits, I have clearly beheld engraved in your soul the image and superscription of my God. Thus wrote this excellent person, whose admirable judgment may keep any sober person from thinking him in this high characterization guilty of rashness and light credulity. His known integrity is enough to free him from all suspicion of abusing his pen to any servile flattery. And they who knew the lowly spirit of this good lady, and how ready she was to be dejected from an overly deep sense of her unworthiness, will find reason to believe that this man of God gave this testimony of her to her as medicine to revive her humble spirit. But I am too troublesome, I fear, to your honor. My hearty prayers are that as you have begun, so you may go on in living your mother's holy life, and that then you may, in a good old age, die her happy death with much peace and honor. So long as you shall have a posterity live on earth, your good mother may never be dead, but may from generation to generation have those descending from her who will keep her name and precious example alive by due veneration of the one and pious imitation of the other. Madam, I am your most humble servant. William Gurnall, Lavenham, March 13, 1671. The Introduction. What Luther said of justification by faith, we may say concerning the resurrection of the dead. It is an article with which the Church stands or falls. Yet so foul an error had taken the head of some members in the Church at Corinth as to deny this grand truth, which St.